Kamapuaʻa, the wild boar god of Hawaii, is one of the most fierce yet romantic figures in the entire treasury of Polynesian mythology. When speaking of Pele, the fiery and authoritative goddess of volcanoes, one cannot forget Kamapuaʻa, the half-man, half-pig deity who embodies fertility, abundance, untamed wilderness, and the raw natural power that humans both fear and revere. He is not only a formidable adversary but also Pele's passionate lover, leaving behind one of the most intense and tragic love stories in Hawaiian mythology. And today, we embark on a 7,000-word journey into that legend, as if you were sitting before a screen, watching each scene unfold, drawn deeper and deeper into the mythic tapestry of Hawaii where ocean, forests, volcanoes, and ancestral spirits intertwine in an endless epic. Imagine before you the distant Hawaiian islands, where winds sweep through lush green mountains, where the tropical rainforest hums with eternal whispers, and where moonlight glitters like silver across the beaches. In this land, the ancients believed that every mountain, every stream, and every flow of lava carried within it a spirit, a deity, a story. And Kamapuaʻa, the wild boar god, was born from the very breath of earth and sky. He is both man and pig, carrying the strong, sinewy beauty of a warrior, yet also able to transform into a wild boar, stubborn, proud, and never willing to bow. In ancient Hawaii, the wild boar was not only a source of food but also a symbol of life, fertility, and nourishment. For this reason, Kamapuaʻa was not merely a fierce god of the forests, but also a guardian deity of reproduction, abundance, favorable rains, and the protective gifts of nature. They say Kamapuaʻa was not welcomed at birth. His mother was Hina, a beautiful woman, but his father's identity varies. Some say he was a powerful chief, others claim he was a god. Born with his strange form, half man, half pig, Kamapuaʻa was ridiculed and rejected by many. Yet this very difference made him one of the most extraordinary figures of Hawaii, for from his earliest hardships he revealed exceptional strength, sharp intelligence, and a burning desire to conquer both nature and the gods, and to affirm his own existence. From childhood, Kamapuaʻa was stubborn and wild. He never submitted to anyone, nor did he allow himself to be looked down upon. As he grew, he wandered into the forests, befriending streams, trees, and animals. The wilderness became his home, the source of his strength. It was believed that wherever Kamapuaʻa walked, the trees grew greener, the waters flowed richer, and the land became more fertile. Kamapuaʻa was the embodiment of regeneration and fertility, the god of unending vitality. But Hawaiian mythology is never painted in a single shade. If Kamapuaʻa carried within him the power of the forests, then Pele embodied the might of the volcano, both creative and destructive. And those two forces, bound together by destiny, were sooner or later fated to clash. Legend has it that Kamapuaʻa once wandered across the islands, seeking new places to prove himself. On those journeys, he heard of Pele, the volcano goddess, proud, fiery, beautiful, and infinitely powerful. Kamapuaʻa was immediately drawn to her. Part of him longed to conquer Pele, not only for her blazing beauty but because she embodied a force equal to his own, a power that could oppose him, merge with him, and push the very boundaries of his being. When Kamapuaʻa came to Kilauea, the volcano where Pele dwelled, their story became one of the strangest and most passionate romances in all of Hawaii. Picture the scene. On one side stands Pele. Blazing in firelight, Pele stood proudly amid rivers of molten lava. Opposite her was Kamapuaʻa, as wild as the deep forest, powerful and fierce, carrying both the heroic aura of a warrior and the raw, untamable force of a wild boar. Their first meeting was not a tender love song but a brutal clash. Pele refused to yield before Kamapuaʻa. She hurled lava, flames, and smoke to drive away the one bold enough to challenge her. Kamapuaʻa did not falter. he summoned the strength of rain, of water, of the forests and mountains, to extinguish her fire. Two elemental forces, fire and water, volcano and jungle, collided in a battle so cataclysmic that even today, people believe its traces remain etched in the cooled lava flows and in the forests that have regrown in vivid green. Yet, as in so many great myths, from conflict arose a passionate love. Pele, though furious with Kamapuaʻa, could not deny his strength, his wild intensity, his defiance. Kamapuaʻa, though always battling Pele, was irresistibly drawn to her blazing beauty, her pride, and her divine power. And so, from rivals they became lovers. Their romance was fierce, dangerous, and intoxicating, like two forces of nature colliding, sometimes blending, sometimes destroying. The Hawaiians of old would say that wherever forests grow alongside hardened lava, wherever steam rises from the ground, there lies the mark of Kamapuaʻa and Pele's love, the union of fire and water, of wildness and pride. But that love was never destined to last forever. Pele, hot-tempered and jealous, could never allow herself to be bound. Kamapuaʻa, free-spirited and untamed, could never belong to just one. After days of burning passion, they once again became adversaries. Pele erupted with lava, scorching everything in her path, while Kamapuaʻa called down rain to quench the flames, to harden the molten rock. They parted, then reunited, as if unable to live without each other, yet incapable of true harmony. In the end, Kamapuaʻa left, leaving behind a piece of his heart in Hawaii, while Pele remained upon her volcano, carrying forever the memory of the wild boar god she both loved and hated. In many legends, Kamapuaʻa is remembered as a wanderer, roaming from island to island, conquering new lands and winning the hearts of beautiful women, leaving his trace across all of Hawaii. Yet no matter where he went, he was always tied to the image of the green forest, the fresh waters, the abundance of life. Farmers prayed to him for bountiful harvests. Those who lived near the mountains and forests offered him incense, hoping for protection from the wilderness and safety from wild beasts. And in the hearts of Hawaiians, Kamapuaʻa remains forever a god both revered and unpredictable, a deity who can bless or curse, depending on how humans treat the natural world. When we sit down today to tell the story of Kamapuaʻa, it is impossible not to feel a deeper meaning within it. Kamapuaʻa is not merely a figure of myth. He is a symbol of the complex relationship between humans and nature. Within him lies both wildness and nourishment, both love and fury. Like the forest, which grants us food yet can drown us in danger. Like the wild boar, which is both a source of life and a destroyer if not kept in balance. And when Kamapuaʻa meets Pele, it is not just a romance, but a symbol of the clash and harmony between natural elements, fire and water, destruction and fertility, death and life. We have walked a long path through this tale, yet every detail in the legend of Kamapuaʻa can open new layers of meaning, new lessons. The Hawaiians tell that Kamapuaʻa could shapeshift not only between man and boar, but also into many other creatures in order to adapt and survive. This reminds us that in life, flexibility and the ability to change are true strength. They also say that, despite his wildness, Kamapuaʻa had compassion. He once helped the poor, once brought rain to drought-stricken fields. This reminds us that even within ferocity, there can be kindness. And finally, the love story of Kamapuaʻa and Pele teaches us that love is not always about perfect harmony, but about collision, about trial, about moments both sweet and bitter. These very contrasts are what give life its fierce vitality, what make memory immortal. Imagine, when night falls over Hawaii, as you stand before Kilauea, the volcano still glowing red in the darkness, listening to the whisper of the wind through the trees, you may feel as if Kamapuaʻa and Pele are still there, still whispering to each other, still loving, hating, fighting, and reconciling in the endless cycle of nature. That is Kamapuaʻa, the wild boar god, the half-man, half-beast deity, at once untamed and full of life, frightening and alluring, rival and lover of the volcano goddess Pele. A god who, simply by being retold, allows us to feel the fierce breath of the Hawaiian land, the indestructible power of nature, and, ultimately, the reflection of humanity itself in its eternal bond with earth, water, fire, and the green forests.